The what one? The law of cosines? Where did everything go?
You moved it over.
Oh. Okay. Is that seat better for you? The what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Fish from drowning. You lost me. Not me. All right. The laws of logarithms. There's 3 of them. We got to learn about all 3. So we got to get crack-a-lackin' then. I said crack-a-lackin'. First law is called product property. Yeah, it's recording. So, in mathematical language, a product is what? Multiplication. This is a product, right? So we're taking the logarithm of a product. That's why it's called the product property. If you are taking the logarithm, and it doesn't matter what the base is, this could be a common logarithm, this could be a natural logarithm, this works with every single logarithm. If you're taking the logarithm of a product, x times y, you can rewrite that as 2 separate logarithms, and you put a plus sign between them. You need to understand the terminology, guys, so write this down. If you're going from one logarithm to multiple logarithms, that's called expand. Because notice our 2 objectives, to expand logarithms. That's what it looks like. You take one logarithm and you create several. This property also works both ways, so I actually want you to do a double arrow here. If you take several logarithms and combine them into a single logarithm, that's called condense. So all 3 of the properties I'm going to show you today work both directions, expanding, condensing. It's going to be more useful to you guys, the condensing part of it, taking 2 logarithms and creating one. That's really what you have to focus on. Expanding isn't something you will need until you get into calculus, really. So let's practice. We'll start with expanding, then we'll do some condensing. If I give you log base 4 of 7x, log base 4 of 7x, that's not a good idea. Especially since those are pretty expensive pieces of equipment. And it doesn't look like they all belong to you. Log base 4 of 7 times x. Come on now. Use the product property. Expand it into separate logarithms. Turn to your neighbor. Discuss what you got.
can show you the proof. It basically boils down to properties of exponents. If you're multiplying, let's say you're multiplying x squared times x to the third, what would you do with the exponents? You add them. The proof is a lot like that. It's kind of complicated, but essentially that's why. What about them? Did you get this? Okay.
Try this one. Go.
Go, 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 go. Log base 3 of 9y. Hello. Come on. Log base 3 of 9y. Hey, this is still class time, you guys. It's not. Let's just talk about whatever the crap we feel like. If you answered log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of y, I'd give you half credit. And I'm sure you're wondering why. It's because I'm just a mean jerk. No, I want you to look at your answer and tell me why. I would give you half credit. If you answered log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of y, you would not get full credit. There's something in there that can be simplified. Log 3 of 9. What's the log base 3? This is one of your quiz questions that you got wrong. It's 2.
So it would be log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of y, but then you would change log base 3 of 9 into 2 plus log base 3 of y. That would be full credit right there.
Okay, that's something that you're going to want to watch out for on the homework. Okay, if it doesn't simplify like log base 4 of 7, leave it as log base 4 of 7. Let's simplify. If it does, log base 3 of 9, then on your homework at least, they expect you to simplify. All right. This is
Part C. What do you think is going to happen there?
not necessarily.
Teachers, at this time, please release the host of students that are going to go into leadership conference.
It's x times y times z. Try it. See what you can come up with. The thing that you really have to remember, you guys, with the product property, if you're expanding, you have to put a plus sign between all of them. If you're expanding using the product property. So check it out. Log base 2 of x plus log base 2 of y plus log base 2 of z. I'm emphasizing the word plus because on exams, a lot of students will put multiply signs here and here. That's incorrect. Yes? If you're expanding a product, you have to use addition signs. Okay.
Let's take a look at the other direction. Now I'm going to give you several logarithms. You got to put it back together again. Like good old Humpty Dumpty. Check it out. These ones can, though. Log 4 plus log x plus log y.
Condense into a single logarithm. Write it down. You can talk about it in your group. What's up? I don't think all of them will be important.
You take all three logarithms and you write one logarithm. And since there's plus signs between each of them, you can condense it so they all form a product.
4 times x times y. Not that bad, right? One thing I forgot to mention, this is actually pretty important. You can only take multiple logarithms and put them together if they have the same base. What kind of base are we talking about here? Always. If these were all different bases, you couldn't put them back together. You guys understand that?
You all have to have the same base. Okay, here's the second law, or property. It's called quotient. Quotient property. Yep, quotient means division. Very good. And I would imagine most of you here are clever enough to know what this property is. Check it out. Let me go back up to the product property. If you're multiplying, then you expanded that using a plus sign. So if you're dividing, we're going to expand it using a minus sign. Good, right. Less talky, more righty. Yes, they work in both directions. Blue.
So if you're taking the logarithm of a quotient, you can expand that with a minus sign.
That you can go both ways. You can either condense 2 into 1, or you can take 1 and expand it into 2. Keep. Try that one.
Come on, come on, come on. You guys win the other day? Dang it. Today's a different day. Okay, just a word of caution. Again, if you answered log base 2 of 14 over 7x, I wouldn't give you full points.
I'd give you most of the points because you at least knew the property.
So you'd get maybe 75% of the credit if you answered 14 over 7x, but 14 over 7 can reduce to 2. So to get full points, you'd write it as log base 2
Of 2 over x. Okay, try this one. Log base 2, 28, minus log base 2, 7.
And I'm just going to give you a heads up. The correct answer is just a single number. The answer is a whole number. There's no logarithm in your answer. You get what I'm saying? The answer's 2.
Let's see. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
I know who is it going to be. Yeah. What?
Whoa! Lockdown drill, close the door.
Can I just have the answer?
No, you got to show the process. Hey, shh, shh, shh. He's going to learn us here. Wait, step back, step up to the side. You guys agree 28 over 7? Why isn't it 28 times 7? Because it's minus sign. Okay, continue. Log base 2 of 4, fantastic. And that's equal to 2. Thank you. Questions? Yeah. But where's the fun in that? Check this out, you guys. I don't know if any of you thought about doing it this way, but is that true? 28 is 4 times 7? Yes or no? Come on.
Yes.
These are multiplying, yes?
Yes.
So could I have expanded that into log base 2 of 4 plus log base 2 on 7? Yes or no?
Yes.
and then log base 2 of 7 minus log base 2 of 7. Those would have become 0, and you would have gotten the same answer there. Otherwise faster, but that could work. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you're really going to have to think for this one. This one's not easy. Okay, go.
I don't know. This one's a little more complicated. Not all closely. That's what I did during the lockdown yesterday. I lost all control on it. Hey, I'd recommend, maybe not for everybody. I think some of you in here understand well enough to maybe just go right to the answer. But for most of you, I recommend you go from left to right and condense two at a time. These two, for example, there's a plus sign between them. That means A divided by B or A times B. So that will become log of A times B. And then you subtract log C. Now you can condense these two. There we go. So if you take these two logarithms and condense them. Now there's a minus sign between them. So what does the AB have to do with the C? Divide. Gotta divide. So you're going to have log of AB divided by C. Okay? Okay, this one might get you. I don't think I got many of you on that last one. I'm going to get you on this one. Natural log of A minus natural log of B minus natural log of C. Try that one. Okay, talk about it. Let's work it out. Any ideas? You can't? That's the safest way. So, Courtney's suggestion, go to phases. That really is the best way to do a problem like this. If we just took these two, just the first two, how would you combine those? A divided by B or A times B? So that would be the natural log of A over B minus the natural log of C. That's a good way to start. Okay. Now here's where you got to listen carefully, which some of you aren't doing a very good job of. There's still a minus sign between them, yeah? So is it going to be natural log? What's supposed to happen with this term here and that term here? We're supposed to divide them, right? But how do you write that? Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, let's check it out. Do we at least agree that A over B has to be divided by C? Okay, that's not incorrect, but it's a really strange way of writing it. Okay? You guys understand what I'm saying? Tell me yes or no if these are the same thing.
Yeah.
Are those the same? Now tell me yes or no, is this the same thing? Are those the same thing? A over B over C is the same as A over B divided by C, which is the same as A over B multiplied by 1 over C. Where am I going with this? What's the final answer? A over BC. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah. Here's a little shortcut, though, that I think you guys can understand. And it's a shortcut that always works. You guys looking up here? Look at the answer, and then look at the original problem. Which logarithms were negative, which logarithms were positive? And where did they show up in the answer? B and C have the negative signs. Where did they show up? Bottom. Log of A was positive, right? Showed up on top. Take a look at part C. That was a minus sign for the C, right? Where did it show up? The bottom. These two are positive. They showed up on the top. Just a little shortcut to be aware of. Okay, there's one more property. We got to move. We got 2 minutes. It's called the power property. The power property. If you're taking the logarithm of some kind of an exponential, x to the power of n. First, let's be clear. What do logarithms do? Correct. So does this logarithm cross out with that base? Does a log base b cancel the base of x? No. So logarithms only cancel bases if they have the same base. So this doesn't cross out, but there is still something you can do with that exponent. Okay? You take the exponent and it drops them in front of the logarithm and multiplies the logarithm. And it's just an exponent. You take the exponent, it drops down in front of the logarithm and it multiplies the logarithm. That's called the power property. Yeah. So if there's a number in front of a logarithm, the other direction would be to put that back up as an exponent. That's also part of the power property. So, these are usually pretty quick. This is a combination of property 1, the product property, because we have a multiply sign here. And then you've got the exponents. So take care of the product property first. How do you expand if you have a multiply sign? talked about it. We're going to expand into two separate logarithms with a plus or a minus. Plus. So the first thing you do is you write two logarithms separated by a plus sign. So it would be log base 4 of x squared plus log base 4 of y to the 4. That's the first thing you do, is use the product property. Now we use the power property. Notice that this logarithm has the power of 2. Where does it go? In front of that logarithm. And then this 4 drops out in front of that logarithm, so you have 2 times the log base 4 of x plus 4 times the log base 4 of y. So that power property is a pretty easy one. That's about all we need for that one. And we're done.